everyone. Happy, what are we? Wednesday. Very confused by this change in days. Let me know if you are here and watching me on the Facebook Live. I'm going to try not to cough as much as I did yesterday. If you are listening on the podcast, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. If you are on the replay, come and let me know that you're on the replay. So today I'm back in my home. I have my proper microphone, I have my proper camera, and I'm dressed. Well done me. I slept in my own bed last night, which was lovely. It was amazing to be at my dad's for so long, but I'm going to be really honest, 3 nights on an airbed. If any of you are campers, I don't know how you do it. I'm not a camper. And yeah, 3 nights on an airbed was a lot for me. So I slept really well last night. It was lovely. Okay, today we are going to talk about excuses. And very similar to yesterday, this is going to be a no BS approach to excuses. Now, what I want to say firstly, for you, those of you that are joining in the reset and are going along with this live, because obviously this is going out as a podcast as well, so people might be listening to it in the future. If you are trying your hardest to tick those boxes and you're sharing all of that with me and the rest of the group, well done. If you're only managing to tick off a couple of things, that is fine. Something is always better than nothing. And just like I talked about yesterday, if you are you're not managing to get to everything on the daily tasks, that's okay. And it's not a reason to give up just because perfection doesn't exist. Remember that, right? So perfection doesn't exist. If you aren't doing all of those 5 things, it doesn't matter. 1% is better than no percent. And I always hear this analogy and I just love it. If you got a flat tire on your car, would you get out of the car and then go and slash the other 3 tires? No, you wouldn't. And that's what we're talking about here, is not giving up just because you can't do everything, right? So well done to those of you that are still here, that are still following along. Super proud of you. You're all doing amazing. Okay, so let's talk about your excuses then. Now, I mentioned yesterday that your brain wants to keep you safe. It will always find the path of least resistance and help you to find a way to do the easiest thing for you. Now, one thing to remember is the easy thing isn't always the right thing. That's not always the best thing for you to do, okay? But this little shortcut that your brain looks for, it will always happen, because that's what your brain is designed to do. It is there to keep you alive, and keep you alive utilizing the least energy, which means calories, the least brain power, the least thinking, the least physical resistance. So it will always look for the easy option. And your brain doesn't really connect, right? Let's say working out, right? Your brain, I'm going to use walking because I know Laura's watching and I know she forced herself out for a walk. Your brain doesn't really click that walking is good for you. It's like, I don't really want to do that because it's rainy and it's cold outside, and actually I'd just rather sit in and watch Netflix. So that's going to keep me safe, that's going to keep me dry, that's going to keep me warm, that's going to help homeostasis stay where it is. Brilliant, I'll stay inside, right? That's what the brain does, because it's a bit stupid. The brain doesn't really realise actually the walking will make us feel better. And as Louise has just popped in the comments, if one flower out of a bunch had a broken stem, would you throw the rest out? No. Love that. I love that analogy. That's brilliant. So this will always happen to us, and it still happens to me. It still happens to me. Okay. Changing your life, changing your habits is hard work. If it wasn't hard work, everyone would do it and I wouldn't have a job. That's the simple, that's how simple this is. I wouldn't have a job and you would all be doing this. You wouldn't be looking for my support. So the first step here is to accept that excuses will always happen. Your brain will always find an excuse not to do the things that are best for you. Okay, excuses will always exist. So if you just accept that, firstly, you're like taking down the first barrier of not trying to fight it all the time. So that's the first thing, okay? Here's a secret. I've kind of alluded to this already. It's not always easy for me to fight my excuses, but I know what my main excuses are. I know when they're most likely to come up. I know the triggers and the situations and the types of excuses that are going to come up, and I've been working on this for years, so when they come up I know what to say to them. Okay, so what I want to do today is go through some common excuses that I hear, and some of them are the ones that I use myself as well, and I'm going to teach you how you can reframe those excuses. And what we're doing is we're reframing. An excuse is just a problem, it's a barrier, right? So we are reframing our problems, our barriers, and instead of letting them be excuses, we are turning them around and we are finding solutions. I always say, don't focus on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. That is having a solution focused mindset. Okay, again, we're talking about mindset. So we're looking for our solutions, we're looking for solutions rather than listening to our excuses and just accepting those excuses and ignoring what we know we need to do. Right, I need a drink. So just remember, as we go through this and as we do this exercise and as I ask you to do the task later on today and share with everyone, there is no judgment here. Okay, my job is to question and to challenge you, and anyone in this group who either currently works with me, has worked with me before, or has been around me for a long time and had lots of conversations with me but never taken the plunge to work with me, you know that my job is to question, to challenge you, and to get you to think about things differently. That's never done with judgment. Okay, and I've used most of these excuses and sometimes they still come back, so there is never any judgment here. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes again, bear with me. So first one, and I know that this one comes up for all of you because I asked the question about what's going to get in your way and what excuses you're going to find, and this one came up a lot. I don't have enough time, life is busy. Okay, firstly, show me a woman. You don't even have to be a mum, right? Because I know in my title is the Mum Boss Method, right? But you don't. I've got women that work with me that aren't mums, but they all have caring responsibilities. Most women do. Show me a woman that isn't busy. I'll wait. Show me a woman that isn't busy. Open your diary and find me, even now on the 3rd of January, find me a 6-week period for the rest of this year where you don't think you're going to be busy. Look at the next 6 weeks in your diary. I bet you're already busy. You might not have, plans written in there exactly. I mean, I am. I know I am. Pretty much every weekend for January is busy, and going into February, and then March is mental for me because it's my son's, my mum's, my dad's and my stepmom's birthdays in March. Rude. So look in your diary and find me 6 weeks where you think you're not going to be busy, because it's not going to happen, right? So life is always busy. That's the first thing. If you constantly say to yourself, I'm going to wait till things quieten down, that's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to accept. Life is always going to be busy. The second thing I want you to think about, and this is a challenge to you, how long do you spend scrolling on your phone? And this is a serious question, right? I know in iPhones, I don't know how you do it with Android, but I know you must be able to now. You can find out how long you spend on your screen. I've got a brand new phone here, so I'm going to put in screen time, and I wonder whether it's only showing me 1 hour 14 minutes because I literally got this phone when I got home from Suffolk yesterday. But bearing in mind, I'll just pick up the old phone as well, because I've kept both of them here because nothing's set up properly. Bearing in mind, my job involves social media. It involves what does it involve? Being on apps all the time, creating content. So far this week, I have spent 3 hours. Nearly 6 hours each day on my phone, right? And a massive amount of that is my job, right? That's it. So you can look on your phone, right? You can look on your phone and you can see your screen time, and I challenge you to do that. That's your first task. How long do you spend every day watching TV? I want you to think about both of these things. So your scrolling time and your TV time. If you spend longer than an hour scrolling on your phone, right, outside of job stuff, if you spend over an hour scrolling on your phone and over an hour watching TV every day, you have time. You do. You have time. Because you don't need to spend that time on this. I know a few people yesterday were saying that they were finding the WhatsApp group overwhelming, and I know some people's kids haven't gone back yet, etc., etc. Some people are at work. But you can pick and choose what you look at. Scrolling through that WhatsApp group will take a couple of minutes to just pick out any of the really vital information that you need. But if you are sitting scrolling social media, looking at the Daily Mail, watching episode after episode of things on TV in the evening, that's not quality time. If you're using more than an hour on either of these things or both of these things, then I'm going to be really honest with you, your time is better used elsewhere. It's absolutely better used elsewhere. Getting a walking, getting a workout in, prepping some food for tomorrow, or having some quality self-care time. Yesterday at 8 o'clock, I put both my phones upstairs and I ran a bath, and I took a book into the bath, and I sat there for 45 minutes. And I didn't look at my phone for 45 minutes in the middle of, prime time, when actually I tend to hear from a lot of my clients, and I know some of the WhatsApp group was chatting as well, and that was needed. So I could have gone for a walk, I could have done a workout. I chose the self-care. So see this as a reason. I don't have time, I'm busy. See this as a reason to fill your self-care cup. Okay, give yourself the gift of time. Audit yourself, be strict with yourself. I'm spending too much time on my phone, I'm spending too much time scrolling, I'm spending too much time getting through box sets on TV. Use this as a reason to fill your self-care cup. Be strict with yourself. Okay, you can still do these things. You can still scroll on your phone. You can still, watch TV, but not at the expense of the other things that you know will make you feel better. And I'm going to come on to some of the things that will really make you feel better and some of the things I know everyone is experiencing in this group. So you can still do them, but not at the expense of the things that you know will make you feel better. And like I say, if you're telling me or you're telling yourself, I don't have time, and then you look at your screen time later and you see that you've been on your phone for 5 hours a day, maybe, and you can break that down and see what apps that is mostly on. When I break mine down, it's mostly on Slack to talk to my clients, or WhatsApp to talk to you guys, or Instagram to post content, Facebook to post content. I very rarely scroll either of those. Okay, next excuse. I'm too tired. I've got no energy. I feel drained. I'm exhausted. All of those things around energy. I know that many of you are feeling that in this group. I know that because you've told me on your forms. You've told me when I've asked in either the Facebook group or the WhatsApp group, what do you want? What is getting in your way? That was coming up a lot. Right, that's why this is in here. If you want more energy, you need to fuel your body with nutrient-dense food, and you need to move your body with exercise. That might sound really counterintuitive, the exercise thing. Well, how is exercising going to give me more energy, Chrissy? I don't get it. Our bodies are made to move. Like, if we think about the brain's job is to keep us alive and to search out opportunities for us to reproduce. Our bodies are designed, if we go back, hundreds, thousands, millions of years, I'm not very good with evolution, we were hunter-gatherers. Our bodies were designed to move. We were not designed to be sat at desks all day. And I know not all of you do desk jobs, but we were not designed to be sat on our bums all day and then sat on our bums all evening watching Netflix. We were designed to move. So by moving your body, you are going to give your body more exercise, more energy. I think I gave this example either on the introduction or yesterday, about getting out for a walk. And yes, I had a lovely beach walk. It was gorgeous, and that's really energizing in itself, the fact that I went for a lovely beach walk somewhere nice and the day was beautiful. But just the act of walking, getting out in the fresh air is energizing. I haven't been back to the gym yet since COVID, but I will be going back tomorrow. And I know whilst that session will be tough, I will also be full of energy afterwards because I will have moved my body. I'm tired. I don't have any energy. I'm exhausted. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. If you are tired, if you are finding that you wake up in the morning, you're exhausted, you need to fuel your body with good food and you need to move your body. They are not excuses. They are reasons to do it. Doing these things will improve your sleep, which will improve your productivity. It will improve your mood. It will improve everything. So it's not an excuse, it's a reason. Okay? I'm too stressed. Things are a bit mental at the moment, and so my self-care goes out the window and I stop prioritizing me. Again, this is not an excuse. This is a reason. If you're not doing things for your own self-care and for your health when you are really stressed, you are keeping yourself stressed. If you are using things like alcohol, food, TV, scrolling to cope with your stress, you are keeping yourself stressed, because those things are not the antidote to stress. They are keeping you stressed. by prioritizing your self-care, by making sure you have a bit of time to move your body, by putting good nutritious food into your body, you are giving your body the strength it needs to deal with the stress. By putting yourself first, you are showing yourself that you deserve not to be stressed. Okay? By helping you, by taking some downtime, taking some you time, like I did yesterday, you are giving yourself the headspace to get through the stress. I have a client that's working with me at the moment, and without sharing all of the details, just before Christmas, when she'd literally just started with me, I think she'd been with me 2 or 3 weeks, and it was in the run up to Christmas, something happened in her family that is horrific. When she told me it happened, I was expecting her to say to me, Chrissy, can I just pause my work with you for a couple of weeks to get through this? And my answer would have been, absolutely yes, of course you can. She didn't do that. She carried on ticking as many of the boxes as she could. And when that situation was over after a couple of weeks, her message to me was, I am so glad I've been part of this group. I'm so glad I'm still doing this work because it's kept me going. It's given me something to focus on. It's helped me to sleep. It's helped me to deal with the stress. It's given me resilience. I wasn't asking her to do anything mental. Get 3 workouts in a week, get some steps in, eat your protein, eat your fruit and veg, focus on getting, for her, focus on getting some good sleep because, mentally it was really challenging for her. And she said to me, if I would have dealt with this so much worse if I didn't have those boxes to tick. And honestly, the thing that happened to her was awful, and I wouldn't have blamed her for just asking me for a few weeks break. Absolutely. So the way you're currently dealing with stress, if you are dealing with it by burying your head, by not moving, by not eating good food, by choosing to drink loads of alcohol, by choosing to eat loads of junk food, that won't help with stress. So remember that this isn't always going to be easy. Right, this is going to be hard. Changing our habits is hard, and when we're going through stress, it's even harder. So if we push towards the hard thing, we know it's growing us, it's supporting us, it's the best thing for us. So do the hard thing instead of picking the easy option. Okay, next excuse. It's too hard to do, it's too hard to stick to. Okay. What did you expect? Going back to my first point, this won't always be easy. If it was easy, I wouldn't have a job and you would all be doing it anyway. Changing your habits, doing the things that are good for you is not always going to be easy, and your brain is going to be fighting for you to do the easy thing. It was absolutely chucking it down yesterday, absolutely chucking it down where I was in Suffolk and when I got back home here. But I knew I had 3 hours in the car and I needed to walk the dog. Otherwise, 1, the dog's going to be a pain in the bum, but 2, I wouldn't have got any steps in. And I knew that wouldn't be good for me. So I stuck on my coat and I went out, and it wasn't pleasant, and I had to we had to clean up the dog when we got home. Our coats were soaking wet through. It wasn't nice. I didn't want to do it, but I knew it was best for me, both in terms of moving my body so I wasn't then just sat in a car for 3 hours, but also best for me mentally, because having this dog just nudging me all day because he wants to go out is a pain. So if you thought changing your habits, going after your health goals, whether they are losing weight, just getting healthier, getting fitter, building muscle, if you thought that would be easy, then you need to reset your expectations, because it's not always going to be easy. If it feels hard, it means you're doing the right thing. Okay, I don't mean hard by pain. That's not what I mean. It means it's challenging you, it's growing you. Again, it's not a reason. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And remember, your brain wants to keep you safe. Your brain wants to keep you comfortable. And the way to grow is to break through that. Many of the patterns and the behaviours you have learned and you're trying to change is because you have constantly given in to your brain trying to keep you comfortable. Okay? Next excuse, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get fitter. I don't know how to get healthier. I don't know how to lose weight. I don't know what advice to listen to. Get help. If you want to go to the gym and do more than just work on the treadmill, hire a PT. Hire a coach. Doesn't have to be me. If you've been in this group for 3 days and you think, actually, Chrissy, I don't want to work with you, I can recommend. I have so many amazing coaches that I know. I can recommend one to you. Join a community. Many of you that are in this group are either my clients, or many ladies that are in this group are either my clients or have just joined the Mum Boss at Home community. If you want to find out what it's like to be part of my community, ask some of them. There's also lots of my previous clients in here as well. Join a community, find a walking group, a cycling group, join some classes. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. If you don't know what to do, seek help. Find solutions. Don't sit in that problem, find a solution. Work is crazy at the moment. Work's just taking over my life. That's an excuse I often hear. That, for the first 8 or 9 years of my son's life, was my excuse. My work, my corporate job took priority. Okay, maybe it's busy, maybe it's demanding, maybe you travel a lot. I travelled a lot. Maybe you do long hours, maybe you do shifts. You can work around this, okay? You can work around this. They're not reasons. They're not valid excuses. They're reasons to plan. They're reasons to be organised. They're even more reason to do the thing. If your job is busy, demanding, stressful, if you focus on your self-care, you will have more energy, more brain capacity. You'll be more productive. There are 2 things when work is like this. First thing is being planned and organised. The second thing is having boundaries. And I had this conversation with my sister-in-law on New Year's Day, because she's going back to work after being off sick for quite a long time. And she has a really busy and demanding job, and her health is also really important. And one of the things that I say to anyone that says, work just takes over, work always seems to be the priority. Okay, if you get sick, how long will they pay you for? I can't answer that. You all work for different businesses. Some of you work for yourself. If you get sick, how long will they pay you for? If you have to take time off, a long time off, will they find someone else to do your job for you while you're doing that? Yes, probably. One of my biggest regrets of my corporate career up until Charlie was 9 was that I didn't set bigger boundaries. That all of my focus was on work. You never get those years back. So you can work around this. Prioritising your self-care will mean you can cope better with work. You need to be planned and organised, but you also need to set boundaries. And that looks different for each of you. And when I say this, often people go, "Oh, it's so easy for you, Chrissy. You work for yourself. You set your own times. You set your own boundaries." Yes, if I don't work, I don't get paid. I don't get sick pay. So I really do have to set boundaries, because, like, for the last 2 weeks, when I got COVID just before Christmas, I have never been so ill, and I couldn't work, and I had this reset to prep for. So It's not an excuse, it's a reason to do the thing. Now, you'll hear me say that most of these are not actually valid excuses, they're reasons. We constantly present ourselves with problems, and I'm sure there are a whole host of other excuses I could have talked about here, but you can pretty much apply the same formula. How is what I'm avoiding going to help me with this problem? You know, I'm too tired. Well, if you're not sleeping well, what's the reason you're not sleeping well? Is it because you're watching Netflix till too late and then you're going to bed too late and so you're not getting enough sleep? You know, you can apply this formula to all of these things. We present ourselves with problems. I want you to start flipping it, and I want you to find solutions for these problems. And I've just run through some of those excuses, and I've flipped them for you, and I've helped you to see how doing the thing you're avoiding is going to help. So this is your task for today. I want you to list out all the excuses you use, and a lot of you have already done that in the Facebook group or in the WhatsApp group where I've asked you about your excuses and your reasons, but I want you to do it again. I physically want you to write them down on a piece of paper. So what are the excuses that you use most? I want you to reframe each of them. You know, I want you to write what's the excuse and turn that into a solution or a reason to do the thing. I'm too tired. Well, I will have more energy if I do these things. I want you to find solutions. I want you, you know, I don't have enough time. Okay, where am I leaking time? Where am I not using my time wisely? So that's your task for today, as long as ticking off as many of the habits as you can, and I'll send everyone a little day 2 screenshot that you can share for today. I loved seeing everyone ticking those off. Please remember, share them on social media and tag me in as well, either Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn if you are following me from LinkedIn. And the more of that you share, the more it motivates other people, and obviously we've got prizes at the end of the week as well. So just to recap, what we've talked about today is the fact that your body will your brain will always look for the path of least resistance, and sometimes that means most of the time that means not doing what's best for you, but doing what's easy. And actually you can take this finding a problem mindset, you can turn it into, instead of the I can't, you can turn it into I can. So instead of looking at what you can't do, look at what you can do. So come into this with a problem solving attitude. Don't look at the problems, look at the solutions, and reframe those excuses. Most of those excuses are reasons to do the hard thing. Okay, so make sure you write down your excuses, you share them with all of us, and that you try and tick off your daily habits for today, as many of them as you can. It doesn't matter if you don't do all of them. Excuse me. Okay, have an awesome day everyone, and I will speak to you a bit later. Mwah! Bye.